Hollywood has always sold a beautiful illusion. The brighter the spotlight became, the more people believed perfection was within reach. Yet behind countless magazine covers, red carpets, and carefully crafted photographs, another story often unfolded. One filled with pressure, insecurity, pain, and impossible expectations. For some, cosmetic procedures were a way to rebuild confidence. For others, they became a desperate attempt to escape criticism, bullying, or the fear of growing older. The promise was simple: become more beautiful, more accepted, more admired. But the reality was often far more complicated. The 7 stories in this video reveal what can happen when the pursuit of perfection collides with human vulnerability. Some found fame, some found heartbreak, and some paid a price far greater than they ever imagined. Few stories capture that tragedy more clearly than the journey of Zhou Chuna. As a young teenager in China, Zhou Chuna dreamed of becoming someone the world would finally admire. Classmates mocked her appearance, and the emotional scars stayed with her. By the age of 13, she believed changing her face and body could change her future. What began as a search for acceptance gradually became an obsession with transformation. With financial support from her parents, Chuna underwent dozens of cosmetic procedures over just a few years. Eyelid surgery, rhinoplasty, facial implants, breast augmentation, and other operations helped create the living doll image that attracted attention online. As her social media following grew, the pressure intensified. Every photo brought praise, and every compliment encouraged another change. Yet behind the polished images was a far different reality. Recovery periods became routine, and physical discomfort followed many procedures. The approval she received felt rewarding, but it never seemed to last. The more attention she gained, the more difficult it became to separate her self-worth from the reactions of strangers on the internet. Over time, Chuna's story became a warning about the power of social media and unrealistic beauty ideals. Millions saw her transformation, but fewer saw the emotional cost behind it. The pursuit of perfection promised comfort, yet often created new struggles. While Zhou Chuna battled the pressure of online validation, Amanda Lepore faced a very different challenge, using cosmetic transformation as part of her lifelong search for identity and belonging. From an early age, Amanda Lepore felt disconnected from the identity others expected her to live. Growing up in New Jersey, she found inspiration in old Hollywood glamour, especially the image of Marilyn Monroe. While many people viewed beauty as an advantage, Amanda viewed transformation as a way to become the person she believed she truly was. As a teenager, she began her gender transition and later became a familiar figure in New York's fashion and nightlife scenes. Over the years, Amanda underwent numerous cosmetic procedures, including breast augmentation, rhinoplasty, and facial enhancements that helped create her signature appearance. Her distinctive look brought attention, opportunities, and celebrity connections. Yet the journey also carried costs. Large sums of money were spent on surgeries, and her appearance frequently became the subject of public debate. Some critics argued that the pursuit of beauty had become excessive, while others admired her determination to shape her own image. Behind the glamour was the constant challenge of living under public scrutiny and maintaining an appearance that had become closely tied to her identity. Amanda's story reflects both self-expression and sacrifice. To supporters, she represents confidence and personal freedom. To others, she highlights the risks of pursuing an ideal that is always evolving. Her experience shows that transformation can bring opportunity, but it can also create lasting pressures. While Amanda Lepore navigated the burdens of public attention, Rajee Narinesingh would soon face a much darker and more dangerous cosmetic nightmare. Rajee Narinesingh dreamed of feeling comfortable in her own skin. Like many transgender women facing financial barriers, she searched for affordable ways to alter her appearance. What seemed like a shortcut toward confidence would eventually become one of the most frightening experiences of her life. Hoping to avoid the high cost of licensed cosmetic procedures, Rajee turned to an underground provider known as the Duchess. She was promised beauty enhancements at a fraction of the normal price. Instead, dangerous substances were injected into her face, breasts, hips, and other areas. The materials reportedly included industrial compounds that were never intended for use in the human body. Over time, painful lumps formed beneath her skin, and visible facial deformities appeared. The emotional toll was devastating. Everyday activities became difficult, and public appearances often brought unwanted attention. Her condition eventually gained national attention, leading to corrective surgeries that were documented on television. The road to recovery was painful, uncertain, and emotionally exhausting. Rajee's story serves as a powerful warning about the dangers of unlicensed cosmetic treatments. Her experience demonstrated how desperation and limited access to safe care can lead people toward life-altering risks. Despite the trauma she endured, she showed remarkable resilience by sharing her story publicly and helping others understand the consequences of unsafe procedures. While Rajee fought to repair the damage caused by illegal injections, Jordan James Park pursued a different dream, spending years attempting to resemble one of the world's most recognizable celebrities. Growing up in the United Kingdom, Jordan James Park became deeply fascinated by celebrity culture. Among the famous faces he admired, Kim Kardashian stood out the most. Her polished image, dramatic features, and global fame shaped his idea of beauty. What began as admiration slowly became a personal goal, to look closer to the celebrity image he loved. Jordan began cosmetic procedures at a young age, believing each change would bring him nearer to that ideal. Over the years, he reportedly spent large sums on lip fillers, cheek enhancements, rhinoplasty, eyebrow treatments, and other cosmetic work. His transformation attracted international media attention and public debate. Some people saw his choices as proof of how powerful celebrity beauty standards had become. Others worried that social media was turning comparison into pressure. Jordan, however, continued to defend his decisions, saying the changes made him feel more confident. Still, public visibility came with a heavy emotional cost. Every new photograph invited comments, criticism, curiosity, and judgment from strangers who believed they had the right to evaluate his face. Jordan's story reveals how modern fame can reshape personal identity. His journey was not about survival, but about chasing an image that had become emotionally meaningful to him. Whether admired or criticized, he showed how deeply celebrity culture can influence self-worth. While Jordan pursued a dream built from fame and beauty, Celso Santebañes would discover that becoming a living doll could bring attention, but not protection from tragedy. As a teenager in Brazil, Celso Santebañes dreamed of becoming someone unforgettable. Inspired by the famous Ken doll, he set out to transform himself into a real-life version of the iconic character. Unlike many people who pursued cosmetic procedures for confidence alone, Celso believed his transformation could create opportunities and help him build a successful future. Starting in his teens, Celso underwent several cosmetic procedures involving his nose, chin, jawline, and other facial features. Reports indicated that he spent tens of thousands of dollars pursuing the appearance he desired. The transformation quickly attracted media attention in Brazil and abroad. Television appearances, interviews, and public events helped turn him into a recognizable personality. He even launched products inspired by his image. For a time, the dream seemed to be working. Fame brought visibility and admiration, but it also created expectations. Many people focused on the character he had created rather than the young man behind it. As public interest grew, maintaining that image became part of everyday life. Then, everything changed. At only 21 years old, Celso was diagnosed with leukemia. Suddenly, appearance and publicity no longer mattered as much as health and survival. Despite medical treatment and support from fans, he later passed away from complications related to the disease. His story reminds us how quickly life can shift, and how fragile fame can be. While Celso faced a battle against illness, Tara Reid would confront a different challenge after cosmetic procedures produced painful and highly public consequences. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Tara Reid seemed to have everything Hollywood promised. With memorable film roles, red carpet appearances, and widespread popularity, she became one of the most recognizable young actresses of her generation. To many fans, her future appeared secure. Few could have predicted how quickly public attention would shift from her career to her appearance. In 2004, Tara underwent cosmetic procedures that included breast augmentation and body contouring surgery. Unfortunately, the results were not what she expected. Visible complications became the subject of intense media coverage, and photographs circulated widely across entertainment publications. Rather than focusing on her work as an actress, many tabloids fixated on her appearance. The experience was painful both physically and emotionally. Tara later spoke openly about her disappointment and the challenges she faced after the procedures. For years, she endured public scrutiny that often overlooked the human being behind the headlines. What should have remained a private medical matter became a public discussion viewed by millions. The pressure highlighted how unforgiving celebrity culture can be when personal struggles become entertainment. Over time, Tara chose to speak candidly about her experience, hoping others could learn from her mistakes. Her willingness to discuss the consequences helped bring attention to the risks associated with cosmetic surgery. More importantly, it showed the resilience required to move forward after public embarrassment. While Tara struggled under the spotlight of celebrity criticism, Laura Avila would face an even more devastating outcome from a procedure that was supposed to improve her life. Laura Avila was not a celebrity, model, or social media personality. She was a wife, a mother, and a woman looking forward to returning home after what was supposed to be a routine cosmetic procedure. Like many patients seeking affordable treatment options, she believed she had carefully planned her journey. No one expected it would become a tragedy. In 2018, Laura traveled from Texas to Mexico for breast augmentation and rhinoplasty procedures. The surgeries themselves were intended to improve her appearance and confidence. However, during the operation, a serious medical emergency reportedly occurred. Laura suffered cardiac arrest and experienced a prolonged lack of oxygen to her brain. The consequences were catastrophic. Instead of recovering and returning to her family, she remained unresponsive and dependent on life support. Her loved ones suddenly found themselves facing impossible decisions while hoping for a miracle that never came. The story attracted public attention because it highlighted the risks that can accompany any surgical procedure, even those considered common. What began as a hopeful personal decision became a devastating ordeal for an entire family. Weeks later, Laura's family made the heartbreaking decision to remove life support after doctors determined that recovery was no longer possible. Her story is perhaps the most sobering reminder in this video that cosmetic surgery, like all surgery, carries real medical risks. Behind every procedure is a human life, a family, and a future that can change in an instant. Laura's tragedy leaves behind a lasting lesson about caution, informed decisions, and the value of health above all else. The stories in this video are not really about beauty. They are about hope, insecurity, identity, pressure, and the difficult choices people make while searching for acceptance. Some found fame, some found confidence. Others faced consequences that changed their lives forever. Together, these journeys remind us that no procedure can completely replace self-worth, health, or inner peace. Cosmetic surgery can offer benefits when approached carefully and responsibly, but every decision carries risks. Behind every transformation is a real person with fears, dreams, and vulnerabilities that often remain unseen. Perhaps the most important lesson is that lasting value comes from more than appearance alone. Compassion, wisdom, character, and resilience often leave a deeper impact than any physical change ever could. Which story affected you the most? And what lesson did you take away from it? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching Hollywood Trainer. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.